Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edgar Jimenez. I'm the business advisor with the Illinois SBDC at Chinese Mutual Aid. And thank you, everyone, for being here today to learn how to use YouTube to grow your business webinar with our guest trainer, Young Tran with National ACE. And she'll be coming up in a moment. This will be recorded, and just for process, this will be very, very interactive. So feel free to use the Q&A section at the bottom of the your Zoom function, or you could also message as a group, and I'll interact that with either questions or points, or maybe requests for clarification with Young. So without further ado, thank you very much for being part of here and part of today's webinar, and a little bit about the Illinois SBDC. We are a no-cost confidential advisory provided from the state of Illinois and the SBA. So anyone who has a good business idea, an existing business, or anyone who needs help with business plan writing, to finding customers, doing research, we have access to easily worth probably $15,000 worth of research. We have many, many plans that we databases that we work through to be able to provide on your behalf of either someone you know or someone that could need some help. How to grow your brand, setting up social media. Of course, that's why we're here today a little bit to talk about, they'll be developed in our webinar, and even things like a strategic planning analysis as you consider what is your unfair competitive advantage in your business. How do you stand in the marketplace, and how to leverage that to be able to grow and succeed. So we will, it is easy to sign up for us, with us. It is a pretty straightforward link, which we'll share in the chat, and you're able to sign up for that, or be able to pass this on. And when you click on it, you'll be able to see Chinese Mutual Aid, or if you feel maybe someone you're recommending this to is in a different geographic part of the state, or maybe has a different leanings, feel free to still use that to sign up. So, and then also, if any questions that you may have, go ahead and reach out to us at Illinois SBDC at Chinese Mutual Aid. All right, so again, this is recorded. After it's recorded, it'll be posted to our YouTube channel. We consider that our client resource library. Please type all your questions in the Q&A chat, and we'll make this very dynamic. And those who are returning, welcome back, and thank you for spreading the word on. We're here really to help our community, help business owners, help Illinois and Chicagoland businesses succeed. And want to thank you very much for National ACE for being part of this, supporting our efforts, and of course for Young Tran, who will be handling our presentation today. So I'd like to introduce Young Tran, who will be telling us on how to use YouTube to grow our businesses.
Thank you, Edgar. My name is Young Tran. I am the Programs Associate at the National Asian Pacific Islander American Chamber of Commerce and Entrepreneurship, also known as National ACE. National ACE is proud to partner with Grow Google and the Chinese Mutual Aid and the SBDC to provide workshops for small and medium businesses to take advantage of accessible Google tools and resources. Today, we are going over how to use YouTube to grow your business. And so we're putting up the slide now. And at any time I'm speaking too quickly or you have any questions, please let us know in the chat and ask your questions in the Q&A. And so at the end of this workshop, you'll have a good idea on how to build a channel if you don't already have one. You will know how to create and promote videos to help you achieve your business goals, and how to measure the effectiveness of your activities on YouTube. And so when you think of video, you probably think YouTube. YouTube is where people watch these videos. In 2018, people spent more than 250 million hours per day watching YouTube. And that's just on the television screens in their living room. If you count phone devices, desktops, tablets, now there is more than 2 billion monthly login users who collectively watch 1 billion hours of video per day. And YouTube is where people discover things. YouTube, by search volume, is the second largest search engine in the world, second to Google, actually. 85% of viewers turn to YouTube for fresh content. And YouTube is where people engage. 70% of shoppers say they purchase a brand after seeing it on YouTube. With this in mind, it's clear that having a presence on YouTube can help your business build your brand and connect with potential customers. Today, this workshop will help you get started. Let's look over today's agenda. Today's workshop will cover the topics: getting your business on YouTube by creating a channel. I'll skim over that because it's not that deep. Getting into adding videos to help you achieve your business goals, promote your business with video ads, and then we'll close off with some additional resources. And that's about it. It'll actually be a super simple, should be quick webinar. And so feel free to ask any questions you might have.
Young, there's a quick question, if I may.
Sure.
Great. This is a great question. Dante Hamilton has asked, are you able to take content from your YouTube channel and make it available on YouTube TV, similar to Roku TV?
I'm not an expert on that. And so I actually can get that information back to you after the webinar. But I assume so. All
right, thanks.
Thank you. And so to create a YouTube channel, if you have a Google account, you have a YouTube channel. And so just sign in. YouTube will ask you, ooh, I did not mean to click on that. YouTube will ask you, once you sign into your YouTube channel, you can click on the right top corner where your profile picture would be. It'll pop up this display where it'll ask you for the profile picture, the name of your channel, and then you just click on create channel. Once your channel is created, there is the customize your channel and upload video. Customizing your channel is easier if you already have a bunch of videos. And so, but you can also do a couple things before you start uploading videos. Let's get into that.
Young, to do this, and I apologize if I missed this, this is as long as you have a Google account. You cannot do this unless you create a Google account, no?
You can create a YouTube channel, YouTube account without a Google account. It's just that if you already have a Google email, one is kind of already made for you. You just don't know. And so you can use your Gmail login and Gmail password and sign into Google. I mean, sign into YouTube.
All right.
And so as a creator, to edit anything, it'll bring you to the YouTube studio. That is the home for your channel. That's where you can customize the layout, create and manage playlists, add subtitles, see analytics, and more. Sorry, 1 second. So from here, if you don't have much content or video yet, you won't have much to customize. But once you do, again, you can come back to this tab and customize it a little more. There are 3 subsections of the customization tab: the layout, the branding, and the basic info. The first section is the layout. It helps you customize the content on the channel homepage. And actually, there's examples in the next following tabs. But for now, oh, actually, yes. And so, yeah, from here, you can add any spotlight video you would like. Spotlights, there are 2 different types of videos that's usually for spotlights. One is for people who have not yet subscribed. This is a video that will introduce them to your channel. It's almost like a trailer for your channel. Highlights what you create, what viewers can expect, encourages people to subscribe. Of course, this is something that you and your company have to create, but this is what is recommended to be on Spotlight. The second thing recommended to be on Spotlight is videos for people who already subscribed. And so this is like a recommended video you would show to them. And YouTube does this great thing of if they've already watched the video, it'll give them a different suggestion. And so these two are the most typical types of videos you would have on your Spotlight. The second section is the sections section. And this is where you can customize the different sections on your homepage. It's usually different playlists. And so if you've created a group of videos around the same thing, you can put them on playlists and you can put them in order on your channel. So when people visit your channel, they can see the type of content you've created. The second thing to set up your YouTube account is the branding. On this tab, you can add various branding elements that can create your channel a unique look and let your viewers know what they can expect if they subscribe to your channel. You add your profile picture. This could be a picture of you. This could be a picture of your logo. You can add the channel banner, and that's the banner that goes on top of your channel. If you have a video watermark, this will appear on your videos on the top right hand corner of the video. And it's also where people can click to subscribe. You can choose when the watermark shows up at a certain time of the video, in the beginning, at the end, or throughout the whole thing. And adding the watermark is super easy. You just kind of click the watermark button, upload the picture that you want, and it'll show up next to a button that says subscribe. Finally, you have the basic information. This tab allows you to edit your channel name, add channel description, add any translations to your channel name, any descriptions in any other languages, add any links to your site, anything you want to share to your viewers, any contact information you want them to know if you want them to email you about business inquiries. Once you made these changes, just click on publish and they will be published on YouTube. And so here's a couple examples. This channel has been customized. On the top, you see the banner. On the side, you see the profile picture and you see the video spotlight. And so you want to make sure that your channel looks good, clean, professional, and easy to find whatever they need to find.
Young, as a question in the wordings, either in your profile or your branding, does that help the search engine find your channel? Like if someone was looking for, you know, spices in Chicago, is that key by putting that in your branding and profile? Does that help the search engine, or it still comes down to SEO? It's really an SEO function and really more appears more of a courtesy for the person who landed on your page.
It's more, yes, it would help. Keywords definitely do help. If people are searching for certain things, the more words that correlate to what they're searching for versus and what you have on your page, you know, you'll be higher up. It's also depends on popularity, right? So a video that has more views might show up higher than a video that has less views with the same words. If you know, search how to cook an egg, you'll see so many different, you know, videos that have, you know, that description, those words in the description, those words in the title. And it just boils down to like, are you describing your video or your channel exactly what you're showing?
Yeah, the question is on TikTok, though, for example, they don't recommend using more than 5 hashtags, because the way the TikTok algorithm works, then you get blended with everyone else, where therefore in TikTok, if you have 2 to 3, it helps find you. Where I was curious, is that opposite than here on YouTube, where, you know, people on YouTube tend to use a ton of hashtags, hoping there's a chance someone's looking for that type of, let's say in this case, frying an egg, but maybe frying an egg Thai style or Chicago style eggs. But you know, you can put Chicago style eggs, but there's no such thing as Chicago style eggs, at least not yet, right? Hint, hint. So I was curious how that are those aligned? Is it fewer better hashtags is better, or is it more of a shotgun on YouTube, especially since YouTube is part of the Google ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think YouTube does has its own algorithm that it goes to and goes for, and YouTube definitely promotes more content creators rather than I guess business owners. I think as business owners where we're like selling different things and providing a resource to people, YouTube tends to be more of a place where you put all your videos to connect to your main website, right? So when people are looking for certain things or trying to find more about your business, when they Google it or when they are searching through your website, they can find a video about your business and what you're selling. So I think if you're a business owner, it moves more towards it moves towards more YouTube ads than having your YouTube video become, top of the search engine as something people to purchase for, because YouTube does focus on content creators, right? Entertainment, education, learning, etc. Does that make sense?
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. And I have lost my mouse. Okay, found it. So getting into how to create and add videos to your channel, video technology has come a long way. With today's technology, anyone can make a video. Me and Edgar was talking a little bit offline about camera versus like a professional camera versus a phone. Nowadays, phone cameras, at least the latest iPhones, have a higher quality video, higher quality recording than cheap Canon cameras or cheap Nikon cameras. If your camera is not like, I would say personally, if your camera is not over $1,000 or $2,000, then your phone probably has a better quality camera than a professional camera does. And so unless you're really into videography and you think that you can produce something better than a professional, then go ahead, by all means, buy these expensive cameras to create these videos. But honestly, a phone, creating videos using your phone works perfectly fine. I would say invest in a ring light that can fit your phone in the middle, or a tripod that fits your phone where it can stand and you can record, right? And so let's get into video concepts. Before you make your first video, think about what's the purpose of the video? What do you want your audience to take away from it? What do you want them to feel about your brand? See you as an expert on a topic, connect to your original story. Think about what to focus on in the video you're creating. Is it introducing a product? Is it giving an overview of your business? Decide on who you want to be the star of the video. Is it you? Is it a valued employee? Is it a loyal customer? And if you don't have many ideas, here's a couple questions you might want to start thinking about. What's the process of your service? How does your product work? How is your product made? What makes you stand out? Maybe unbox some of the products that you sell. Maybe create some how-to videos on how to use your product. Think of some questions customers might ask you and then use those questions to create videos that will answer them.
And Young, if I could step in and just advise everyone here, and for any content creator, what I learned a long time ago in branding is it should always pass the so what test. Like, so what? Like if you're going to do something, and this would, if you're speaking to a crowd, you're trying to make a point, or really in this case, a video, right? We all know you have about 3 seconds to 7 seconds to grab someone's attention. And if you don't answer the so what, then you're going to lose them. So that is kind of a good guideline as you develop your story, your concept of what you're going to say. And sometimes the so what is because, but make sure that because, like, let's say you are an expert in leather. All right, well, today I want to show some leather that I thought's really beautiful because I love the smell, for example, or Chicago spices. You have a new spice coming in. That passes the so what? Well, here I'm telling you about a new spice and why it's exciting. But if you're just there saying, hey, you're following me in the day of what it's like to work behind the scenes, that's still pretty good. It answers the so what. This is what they're going to take away. So it's a tough question if you really think about it, but it's your own test. And as long as you're being better each day than you were yesterday, that's the goal. But always think about from your customer, from the message receiver, so what? Once you answer that so what, you can address that in about 3 to 5 seconds. So you start with really good momentum, you're in a good shape. But anyway, all right, thanks, Jan.
Oh, that was great. Absolutely. And so let's talk about the different story types. A business story recommended length is 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Like what Ego said, or attention span is very short now. And so if you want to tell the story of your business, you might think, oh yeah, it takes me like an hour. You know, if I put it in a video, then maybe it'll take me a solid 5 minutes. But on YouTube and as a business owner, the recommended length is just 30 to 60 seconds that you have to highlight who you are, what you do, and why you do it. This isn't like hard, fast rules. This is just what we recommend from a survey that YouTube did with a company where they analyzed 10,000 video ads from small to medium businesses to see what worked best. And so this is backed by data on what they recommend you to do if you're telling the story of your business. Now, if you're introducing a product or a service, then they recommend even less time, 15 seconds to 30 seconds. You have 15 seconds to explain the benefits of your product, get into the details on how it works, and cover what problems it addresses. And then if you're doing a promotional story for a product or your business, etc., then the recommended length is also 15 to 30 seconds. Any special deals or timely information you want viewers to know about, the promotional story can help that word to come out. And so
one thing to add, if I may, Young, and really it's important, right? Because people will be irritated if they're there too long and they don't get the point. So that is that type of sense of urgency that you're sharing with your story, your product background. But here's the nice thing, the effort you put into making YouTube video, you could repurpose all of that content on Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest, on Facebook. So that's really important. So even though it might feel like, oh, I got to do all this work to do a 10, 15 or 60-second video, those snapshots or the screen grabs, you can repurpose. So it's well worth it to really have a conscientious effort to make a really good YouTube video in any of the 3 formats that Young is recommending.
Yeah, and also to add on that, as you're making these 3 formats, you want to make that content a little bit evergreen, where it's just like, it's timeless. You can use it anytime you want. You can put it anywhere you want. It's just you want to create, that video or, that content to where if someone's asking, who are you? And they're doing research on you, sometimes a video impression is one of those touch points that really encourage them to do business with you, right? And so it's great to like at least invest in a short video that can last you for like a really long time.
And the guideline is about 7 to 8 touch points per prospective client. So the more content you have out there, the more likely you're able to nudge them to make a business decision, to purchase decision, or to request a quote.
Absolutely. And so here's some best practices. Once you've decided on what you want to shoot, and you want to make sure that backtrack a bit. Once you decided what you want to shoot, you want to make sure you share a clear and concise message in the video. Try to make a strong impression within the first 5 to 15 seconds. Again, you want to grab the attention so that the viewer wants to continue to watch that video. Your video should not be a like over the top sales pitch. It should be a call to action, possibly a timely offer. Tell them what next steps you want them to take. Maybe to subscribe to your channel or stay up to date with your business, or to comment below on the video, or if they would like to see an upcoming video about something else, right? At the end of the video, you want to be like, hey, like, do this. Maybe subscribe to your newsletter, subscribe to the channel, hit a like button. You've always seen the videos where at the end they'll ask you to do something. This keeps the audience engaged. And so here are some common techniques on creating videos. Just to go over them really quickly, you have the typical selfie. You might see people do like vlogs or like, TikTok videos or Instagram videos. YouTube also does reels. And so you can make these selfie videos. You have the backdrop where you have a clear background, a solid background behind you, so it's not really distracting. The voiceover, you're having your typical video running and you have someone talking over the video, describing things, explaining a story, etc. Top down is, I would say, a new technique that people have been using in the last couple of years, where the camera is actually above you and you kind of just see the hands, they're creating the product, they're creating a souffle or whatever. It makes it look like the viewer is the person creating the product. The point and shoot is the typical, the camera is in front of you, it just shoots. In action is an in action video. Told with text, or any videos that are just, let's say music and you have like quotes on the side where people can just read and, have, I guess, like a reading video. And then animation. And so you're not using real people, you're just using animations. These are different ways you can promote a product, different styles, different techniques that you can use on your video. I don't think there's a recommendation on like what's the best, but I would say if you're running out of ideas and you want to do something fresh or new, these are your basic techniques that you can use for your YouTube videos.
Yeah, Young, 2 questions. Number 1, what's your research or maybe your experience in doing voiceovers versus doing a mic, a lapel mic? And then I'll let you address that question first.
Sorry, repeat the question for me.
You're doing a voiceover versus doing a live mic, because you have to attach a mic then either via wire or wirelessly to your phone as you narrate what's going on. Any preference or anything that you're seeing in the research that tends to be more successful?
I don't know this information. I think it's a preference at this point, like what kind of style video you prefer or what do you want your video to look like. I think with the voiceover, it's a little more polished. It looks a little more professional, but when you have, a mic and someone talking, it's more relatable and down to earth. And so I would say it depends on your audience and what kind of, I guess, artistic vision you want for your video. As business owners, I think that depending on your business, you have specific goals for these videos. And so I think that depending on your goal, you might just want to do whatever is easier for you. Or if you have a video making company to create and draft these promotional videos for you, then you can follow their recommendation. But I personally don't know, I guess, like what's the best course of action when it comes to like mic or voiceover.
Yeah, I just wanted to offer perspective. There's some people don't do videos because they're self-conscious, which I personally feel no one should ever be self-conscious, but people are going through their own life's journey and sometimes they don't like their voice, or maybe they don't like their look.
Or maybe they're just shy.
Yeah, or it could just be shy, or maybe they stutter, or maybe they don't feel they have a good voice. But I would say with practice, you know what? People want to know your story and they'll connect with you. So I would say practice, and keep it on private, share with your friends, or really feel good in front of a camera so you're able to be continuous in getting that over. But number two, maybe voiceovers is an option. Just understand it's one step away from creating that intimacy with your listeners. And you might voice over how you make, for example, making a souffle, or maybe you're making a fresh leather strap. So that's an offering I would just suggest to those who are really seriously considering doing YouTube videos. And then when the other question too, Young, if you have a perspective or maybe research showing of doing continuous shots versus constant cutaways. So constant cutaways is a technique in TikTok where you speak and then you pause and you speak again. So it kind of creates that movement in the video where sometimes, depending on your product, a continuous shot is a demonstration, but it could maybe feel tedious. I was just curious if there's any research that shows constant cuts versus long videos, maybe a couple of minutes before there's a cut in the video for whatever this offering is.
Yeah, I think that gets into so like if you have I don't know how to properly explain this, right? Because I think like with TikTok and these jump cuts, it's very entertaining for people with a short attention span, because like when there's a lot going on, they can focus a little better. And the purpose of TikTok is to have these like short bites of content, versus like these like long continuous shots. It really depends on like how, I guess, like charismatic you are, how great of a speaker you are, how comfortable you are in front of the camera. And so I don't think it hurts to like have edits to make your video like clean as possible, to where you're like talking smoothly, a jump cut every now and then, so you don't have to reshoot so many times, right? Because you couldn't do it all in one cut. And I think going back to the fact that you only have less than a minute, you want to create as much information and straight to the point as much as you can in that 30-second to minute video. And so I think like for business owners, like it's a little bit of both. Like you want to jump to what your restaurant looks like. You want to jump to the business owner, what they're saying, maybe a little voiceover here, maybe no voiceover. I think depending on what the purpose the video is, the style of video can change.
Yeah, and I would also say too, try the long form, but maybe you're concerned about the ums and the there's a software called the Script. There's a built-in AI where you can edit the text and you cut out the uhs and the ums, and the video automatically blends. So it's one continuous video. So that's number one. Number two, the nice thing about jump cuts, not only does it maintain their visual attention, but you're able to edit out the ums and the uhs, and maybe you were looking off camera before you came back to your point. So try it out, but I would go back to Google Analytics to look at the success of your video. Maybe you could do two of the same videos or stylistically same information and see what works best, and then lean into that. Maybe you're better as a freestyling orator, or maybe you found out that your jump cut videos are more successful. They have more clicks, and of course, in the end, more quotes or purchases. But yeah, just got to get in front of that camera and get that practice. And of course, these 8 common techniques that Young is sharing, try them out, experiment, and have fun. Right,
yeah, I do want to add that we don't have to be this like highly successful YouTube content creators with millions of subscribers and like a gazillion views. I think the purpose for business owners, at the very least, is the fact that this is another source of information that your customers can learn about you, right? They're already interested in you enough to, look on your website, look at your reviews on Yelp, look at whatever content you have on the internet. what's really helpful is if you have that additional YouTube video where they can like watch a video. Because I don't know about you, but when I search on the internet about something I want, I'm looking at every single thing I can possibly find about this business. And if they have a YouTube video, I'm like looking at the YouTube video, right? And so this is like, I would focus less on like how to be a successful content creator, but and more on like you are using it as a space of like telling people who you are and what you're selling.
Thanks, John.
No problem. And so tips for shooting the video space, you want to make sure the space is free of clutter. It looks nice. It potentially shows your logo or your workplace. The more you have going on in your background, the more distracting it is. And so you want to make sure it looks clean and professional. Lighting goes a long way. And so some people have like great cameras, but when they don't have great lighting, the quality of the video drops significantly, right? Even with my, I guess, laptop camera and I'm filming this webinar right now, if it was nighttime, then I'm gonna look like a ghost and you won't see me as clearly as you do now. And so like it's the same camera, the only difference is the lighting. Sound, listen to the space. If you have a mic, use it. I would recommend, high quality headphones work fine. But if you want to be fancy and get, the Yeti, sorry, you can't see it, but like the fancy sound mics that you see online, you can do that too. It's just, you got to do a little more editing. But as you're talking, make sure you speak confidently, make sure you speak clearly. People notice these things when it comes to videos. And then if you want to add music or sound effects, YouTube actually has a list of free music and sound effects that you can use. And so you don't have to worry about copyright. If you're using other music outside of this, then if it belongs to you, it's fine. But if it doesn't belong to you, YouTube might copyright it. And so watch out for that. And then here, this is where you can click on create, where you can upload videos. You can go live if you wanted to. You can also, when you upload videos, you can select the file straight from your computer. I prefer editing the video outside of YouTube. YouTube does have its own editing software in YouTube. But personally, when I play with it, I don't like it very much. And so I edit my videos outside of YouTube and then upload it onto YouTube. Once you upload,
I'm sorry, Young, we talked about this a little bit off camera, but is there any, what's your thoughts on or suggestions in editing software? Should they invest in the Adobe suites, or do you feel there's pretty good in computer, in PC, in laptop softwares, or in phone softwares to edit with?
Yeah, it's crazy how far technology has gone. If you want to be super professional and you have a background in video editing and you already have, Adobe Suite, then go ahead, use your Adobe video editing software. They're great. You can definitely have more options on editing because it's so complex. But if you're doing like simple cuts, adding audios, sometimes your computer already has an editing software already installed, like pre-installed in your computer. And so if you just go into your search engine and like type in video editor, I'm sure you can find something. I edit my videos on my Windows video editor, and I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I'm not crazy about it. I do simple cuts and edits. But if you want to get more advanced, then feel free to invest in the software. And if you don't have time in being your own, if you don't have time being your own personal video creator, a lot of companies, a lot of small businesses, hire media companies to create these like small videos for them that they can use forever, right? And so I would say like, look up your local, content video creator and see if you can get a quote for them to create a promotional video for you. And then you can just focus on the marketing online, putting it on YouTube, etc. And so you don't have to like put all this headspace into creating this video, and because time is money, and sometimes we don't have the time to like learn how to create these amazing videos. But if you are okay with, just like a homemade video that isn't, that just goes straight to the point, that you shot on your phone, that works too, right? Like it depends on your customer, it depends on your audience. If you're a small mom and pop shop who just want to tell people that you sell t-shirts, and you're shooting on your phone and you post on YouTube, people might find it adorable, they might love it. Like you don't have to be fancy.
One thing I did want to offer too, there are expensive softwares out there as well, like Final Cut Pro or Adobe or Premiere. But I'll put in a link. There's a free software called DaVinci Resolve. It's free and it's pretty intense. But if you want to spend some time to make your videos very special or split between sounds and get effects, I'll put that in the link. But I totally agree with Young. Find a software that's easy to use, because right in the end, you want to make this easy. You want to post that message to get out there, because you have to focus on your business or your full-time job if it's a side hustle. So time is of the essence. Whatever is easiest, less resources and higher quality, that's where your focus should be to be able to get that word out there.
Absolutely. Marketing is a full-time job. These webinars are definitely helpful to get your feet wet, but like it shows that like, how much work it does take. And, if you're willing to like learn how to do it, then power to you. And, this is where we get started, right? And so going back to posting your video on YouTube, it'll ask you for the title, it'll ask for the descriptions. That's where you want to put your keywords. That's where you want to put your, what are you promoting, right? What is this video about? And then on the thumbnail, you can post a higher quality picture for your video, so it can show up on the thumbnail instead. But it'll also like give you recommendations where they'll pull from the actual video. I prefer to put your own thumbnail because it just looks better and attracts customers. And so, yep. And then scrolling down, if you want to add subtitles, you can. And you can also add different languages subtitles. If you have an end screen, you can add that end screen. If you have any cards to promote other content, you can add that too. If you don't, you can skip all of these three things. Everything is completely optional. YouTube will, check that it's downloaded, check that it's high quality, and then check if there's any copyright issues, and it will let you know all this information before you publish it. And then you can decide on the visibility. It can be public, it can be unlisted, it can be private. You can also schedule when you want it to come up. I feel like I've taken a lot of time and I've not gone through, so I'm gonna skim through everything as of right now. You can publish the video. As I said before, YouTube now does shorts, just like TikTok, just like Instagram. And so if you're creating content on TikTok, you can post it on Instagram, you can post it on YouTube. There are so many different places you can post the same content. And then Creator Academy is a academy created by YouTube to give you those like recommendations and anything you might have questions about, how to earn money with ads on YouTube, how to get discovered, quick start guide to YouTube, more in-depth courses that you can take when it comes to YouTube content creation. Promoting YouTube with ads. I'm gonna briefly skim through this, but a byte is 60 seconds. It means that they can't skip your ad. If it's 15 seconds, they still can't skip your ad. If it's more than 15 seconds, then they have the option to skip your ad. And you only have to pay for the ads that people watch all the way through. And so if people don't watch your whole ad, you don't have to pay for it, but you do still get that exposure. Someone saw 6 seconds of it, right? And so it's a great place to promote your company if you want to, just pop up on someone's YouTube video, because there's so many people watching so much content. And so viewers say that they're 2% more likely to buy something they saw on YouTube. We're going to skip the video because we're running out of time. As I said before, after 5 seconds, the viewer has the ability to skip your ad. You only pay if the viewer watches 30 seconds or to the end of the ad, right? Companion banners are completely free. You've probably seen this before on your YouTube ads, but you click on a video, the ad pops up, you want to look at the comments, but all of a sudden you see like more information about the ad. That is the companion banner that you can add to show up with your ad. And so this can be a link, this is a description, this tells the audience more about your product or your business. And it's completely free add-on to your ad. And recapping resources, we've gone over how to create your channel, how to create and upload videos, and the different resources you have when it comes to ad and content creation. If you want to work with trained and trusted creative partners, YouTube creative partners can help you create stunning videos, whether you're starting from scratch or repurposing existing videos. And so, youtube.com/ads/make a video. And so they can give you some tips on that. If you want some business and marketing lessons at g.co/premiere, this is where you can get quick, easy lessons on your phone. Learn wherever, whatever you want in a few minutes for free. That all of these programs are free. They're practical, they're personalized next steps. And there's also mini courses for YouTube. And then, as I mentioned before in the previous webinar, Google does do career certification scholarships for US businesses. And so US businesses can get up to 500 scholarships per company for Google career certifications to train their employees. So that's like with data analytics, digital marketing and e-commerce, IT support, project management, UX design. And so businesses can apply at grow.google/certification for businesses. And more online courses, google.com/growwithgoogle. And that's it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And then Tommy, I wanted to give you a chance. I saw a note that you have an answer for Dante about using content from their YouTube channel onto YouTube TV. All right, we'll let Tommy click that through. Yeah, this is wonderful, Young. Thank you very, very much. Are there any other questions out there we have from our attendees? I clicked in some of these links that Young had referred to during her presentation, and for example, the G.co primer or primer, and also some of the software I mentioned, including the script and DaVinci Resolve. And let's see what else we have. I also did include a link as well for everyone to be able to use if they want to become a client or they have someone they'd like to recommend as they sign up through the Illinois SBDC site. So one thing though too, Dante, I did look up a little bit. Since YouTube TV is really, you're paying for subscription to regular TV, that appears to be very, very separate from our YouTube channels. So unless if maybe you had a really cool ad and you pay for it to go on a proper TV station, WCIU, NBC, ABC, then you probably get your 30 seconds on there. But it's likely a paid ad through that, through a station or TV show that is then being broadcast through YouTube TV. So, all right. Well, Young, any other thoughts, or as we're presenting here, and any other things that came across that you wanted to share, that maybe you had really good questions from other presentations you've had that maybe we didn't bring up today?
I think I've gone over almost everything because I think there was a lot of like add-ons I've added in. There was a lot of content that I've said during the presentation that wasn't actually in the presentation because of the questions that I've gotten asked before. And so I do not have any on the top of my head right now. But if anyone else have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, then I'm glad I got through the whole, the PowerPoint as I did.
Yeah, absolutely, Young. Absolutely. All right. Well, and then Tommy, is there anything else you'd like to share as we close this out? You might. There he is.
No. I think that was great. Thank you both for facilitating. Yeah, I got nothing else to add.
All right. Well, on behalf of the Illinois SBDC and Chinese Mutual Aid, I want to thank again National ACE and of course Ms. Young Tran for today's wonderful presentation. I thank everyone for being here and spending their lunchtime with us and really allowing us to share what we offer. And what we offer is tidbits of information or connections or networking that helps you grow your business, be it a startup all the way to an established business. And really, as everyone can see here, Google and YouTube are powerful tools to use that really there's no cost of learning how and even building your YouTube video, but also, being able to use Google Ads to get the word out so you're able to help as many people with your service or product. So I just wanted to close out and thank everyone very much. Of course, give Tommy Utz a very deep thank you and appreciation for coordinating today, and look forward to our posted video, not only from last week, but also today's video later today. But thank you everyone for being here and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye, everyone.